Hey y'all, it's me. I am finally watering these four little sunflowers that Chelsea and I set this morning. You can see that some of them are just laying down. They're dry. They'll be okay, but they're just not real happy with me. But Hugh needed desperately to get his hay up, which he did. Yay! You can see up there in that field, and up there in that field. And so I was not about to slow him down to ask him for help with getting everything hooked up over there. The problem is he tightens everything so tight that I can't get things loosened, and we thought we were going to have more water in the tub, but we didn't. We have enough. But yeah, I'll come out here in the morning and these guys will be standing up perfectly straight and ready to do their thing. Sunflowers are resilient. They just are. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing because they'll be actually one of our main stays in our bouquets this summer. It's the reason we have... Alright, let's have a little kink. One of the reasons we're planting so many, I think we missed last week. Chelsea and I both tend to get distracted because we're very ADHD. But anyway, that's all right. We set out somewhere between 500 and 600 today. And so that'll be a nice little, and that's basically what we've been setting out every week so far since warm weather hit. I set them out, a little early to begin with, but they're looking nice, and I think they're going to be fine. So I'm glad I did. Next year we may set them out early again. One thing we decided, hold on, I'm going to have to change hands. I've got, and I don't want to get sprayed. I've got a hand going numb. But, what was I telling you? Hello, here we go. One thing we decided on is that we will just go ahead and use the little, go ahead and start them inside all the way through May. But starting in June, we're going to direct sow them, because the ground will be warm enough by that point. And we'll dig our little trench across. You can see how we've went across instead of down the row. That makes it easier, actually. So we will dig our little trenches across, sprinkle a little fertilizer in, put a little bit of a nice grow medium, because this field is a lot of clay. And then put our seed in, put a little bit more of nice mixture over top, and not cover them with the clay. And that way they won't have to struggle to get through a crust, because if it crusts over, and I know sunflowers can, they're tough little creatures, but I don't want to make it any harder on them than I have to. And I'll just consider that amendment, adding a little bit of more loamy soil to this field as we go, just even in little tiny increments like that will over time have an impact. But yay, you can see how long it takes it to even soak in this clay mud. It's not very absorbent, but then again, when it gets wet, it's wet for a good while, so that's good. But these guys that are laying down, even though they're a little dehydrated, their stems are still nice and plump, so that makes me think that they will just be fine and they'll come on. But I hope your evening has been wonderful. I've been washing jars. Hugh has been, that's a neighbor. He's taking pity on us, I think. Or he's tired of our road banks being too high, too deep. But that's okay. For whichever reason, I appreciate it. That's funny. But anyway, I just thought, while I'm out here walking back and forth with this water, that I'd hang out with you guys. I know that this has got to be exciting. Sorry guys. I know my videos are, you know, slow for most people, but I know that there's those of you like me out there that enjoy watching. The videos that I watch most are videos of people doing the exact same thing I'm doing, which is, you know, basically growing flowers. And let me see, what else do I watch? I love watching, well, bowl turners. I've watched those for years, even before Aaron became interested in that. And there's one that I love, let me see, Blacktail Studio. He builds furniture. He makes some interesting, really, really interesting furniture. And I love watching that. Hugh loves to watch historical type things. And I don't know. See, our television that we choose to watch tends to be a little slower. Unless Chelsea's at home. When she comes up to have dinner with us, if we put in something to watch, she usually chooses something science fiction-y. And that's okay, because we're Star Wars people. We like that too. It's not the types of things that we choose to watch when we're here by ourselves. My favorite of all time movies was Anne of Green Gables with Megan Follows. Have any of y'all seen that? If you haven't, you need to. I watched the Anne of Green Gables and then the Anne of Avonlea, and I watched them so much when the kids were small, and they loved them too, that when we were having a difficult week, if things were just not real happy, those are laying down as I'm watering them. I guess this must be a little tough on them. One of the kids, of course it was usually to get out of doing schoolwork, they would say, "Mom, I think we need an Anne day." They knew that I could rarely resist that. So we would put in Anne of Green Gables, that's back in VHS days, and we would sit in the living room all snuggled. When poor old Huey was out working his little heart out, the kids and I would sit there snuggled up for hours, because it took, I think if I remember correctly, it was like an 8-hour day. It was a full day. By the time you watched Anne of Green Gables and Anne of Avonlea, it was probably 8 hours. But we would do that probably usually about once a year. And that was just fun. It was just a relaxing, kind of just a much needed rest day every now and then. And I'm glad the kids liked it as much as I did, because it would have been terrible. I wouldn't have tortured them and made them watch them if they hadn't have enjoyed them. But anyway, what fun. What fun. Speaking of which, you know, it's been absolutely, literally, probably 10 years or longer since I've watched that last. And now that I'm talking to y'all about it, that just sounds like a good week's worth of evening programming. I think I've got them on DVD somewhere. The kids bought those for me at some point over the years, along with MASH. I've got a very eclectic palette, I suppose. But I love the MASH series. And so we would watch MASH on a regular basis. Hugh and I still, until about a year ago, we watched MASH probably about every evening. There was usually 2 that came on back to back. So for an hour, I think that's enough. For an hour after... Whoa, I'm getting squirted. Big time. Hold on. Well, that was loud. Sorry, guys. But for an hour every evening after the news went off, Hugh and I would usually turn on MASH and watch 2 episodes. And it's just, most of the old ones were really, really, really funny. The newer ones became, the later ones became more sad. But, I mean, it became probably much more, oops, sorry guys, I'm trying to put that down over there. It's a little warm, hope it'll be alright. But Hugh asked me to cover it just in case we get some rain tonight. So, it's covered. There we go. There we go. Alright. But let me walk you through. You can see that the sunflowers are actually about, well, they're taller than my knee, so that's pretty doggone good. These on this side are a little bit smaller, but I think they're looking really nice. And they are right now, if they were to actually open up and start blooming, they're tall enough to actually, and you can see the little buds are developing. Yay! They're actually tall enough to cut as a cut flower. We planted them really close together. Lisa Mason Ziegler, that's what she said. If you want the size that will end up being about the 3 to 4 inch size specifically for cut flower arrangements, you want to plant them about 6 inches apart. So that's what we did. Look at this bright blue little critter. Well, he decided to fly away. And our blades came this week. You can see that over here where we planted sunflowers, very few of these came up. Now more of these down here came up, and they probably could be hoed out a little bit, but we've been hoeing in other areas of the garden, so probably won't worry about them. Once the suns get big enough, the weeds underneath of them don't really amount to much because they just kind of keep them shaded out. But I ordered mulching blades for my riding lawnmower, and that's what I'm going to use on the pathways. By mulching it, it won't, spray grass debris all over my plants, because I certainly don't want that. But I'm not sure Hugh's going to be able to get to that before the next rainy day. And I might just go ahead and bring my weed eater down here and just check and see if it's going to sling mess all over the place. If it doesn't do too bad a job, I may just walk through here real quick, because you can see some of these paths are getting pretty intensely deep. And I don't want that to happen. So we need to get this all taken care of. These plants are still coming along really slow. I just got them in the field too early. Lesson learned. Lesson learned. See, look at this. These guys are already blooming, and they're not nearly tall enough. These are Cosmos. They're not nearly tall enough to use as a cut, but maybe as time moves forward, they will get taller and taller, I hope. You can see how deep this is as I'm walking in it. And then let me see, the zinnias. are looking really nice. I don't think I see any budding in them yet. I hope not. You guys have got to get taller than this. It's not okay. And over here, I love these guys. These are, let me see, Coleus? No. Wait a minute. Cosmos. Is that right? No. I can't remember the names of them, but they have like a feather. Some of them are like a coxcomb. You guys know what I'm talking about. I can't remember the names of everything. Over time, maybe. And then down here, these guys are marigolds. And you guys better not be blooming yet either. I don't see any blooming yet. Some of these, the shorter ones, I actually pinched. So we should have a lot more coming on of the shorter ones. A lot more stems. And then more and more. I've got lots and lots and lots of them. The zinnias started. I think about 800 in my trays. They're started and they're out on the hardening off tables. So they'll be going into the ground within the next week or so. This over here is Ageratum. And I don't know if any of y'all have seen Ageratum, but the first time I grew it, I fell in love. Ageratum is like little clusters of purple flowers. This is basil. Basil just to use as a filler. And I think down here at the end, we are a little shady, but I mean, they get the sun most of the day. What time is it right now? It's probably about 4 or 5. And you can see that the sun is going behind the trees. So this end of the field is getting shaded a little bit. So I'd say, you know, it gets 80% of the day. It should be fine. But those two beds right there will go full of all of these types of plants that I have started up here. We have all these ready to go out again. And yay. And some better looking Gomphrena. And that makes me happy. If you're unfamiliar with Gomphrena, that's another favorite one. I understand from a lot of people who are cut flower farmers that they hate harvesting Gomphrena. Gomphrena is it's a little tiny ball. It's, I mean, probably about the size of a quarter, but they are truly just a little ball. I grew some last year, some white, and used it in some flower vases in my own home, and they were so beautiful. Oh, they were so pretty. So I hope that I don't hate cutting them as badly as some of the people have suggested they hate cutting them. But anyway, we'll just suck it up and do it anyway, because those little pops of color, but what I grew last year was white, but the little pops of color that I have ordered are so unbelievably gorgeous. But guys and girls, I have finished what I need to do over here. My mountain mint is looking great. I plan on planting, dividing it and just planting it continuously down the fence line. We're going to plant some amaranth and some butterfly weed and some hollyhock and just different things. Just whatever, just because we want to. But some of them will actually, like the mountain mint, will be a deer repellent. And besides, it's beautiful. And when it blooms, I've got blackberries growing up in them. You can see that. You guys, what are you doing in my mountain mint? There's some lightning bugs down there. You see these guys? Yeah, they're resting up, waiting until dark. And then they're going to do their thing. But these guys, when they bloom, they're actually supposed to make a pretty significantly nice looking filler Oh, there's another one. They're gathering up. They're gathering up for their evening little roundabout. But you can see that rhododendron over there in the bank. Let me increase it. Isn't that beautiful? That's so pretty. If it isn't too old, I would like to get some cuttings off of that and just plant some here and there around the farm, because that's such a gorgeous color. And all those little white looking plants over there, those are not what did I just say, rhododendron, and those are mountain laurel. They have the little teeny blooms, but the big purple one back there in the bank or in the trees, that's a rhododendron. All right, y'all, I got to get back over here. I'm dragging my feet, literally. I got to get back over here and get all these jars washed. I did decide I'm just going to wash them, rinse them, let them dry, and put them back on the shelf. There's absolutely no reason to put them through the dishwasher when they'll have to be sterilized before I use them anyway. So that's one less step. That was Chelsea's suggestion. Thank you, Chelsea. But anyway, all right, let's get back over here. You can see my little piles. Oh, let me take you over here and show you these roses. They are gorgeous, gorgeous. This, I did finally get them pruned, but this teeny tiny little one, its little orange head is almost as big as the plant itself. And that's one that Aaron and Corey had gotten last year over at the Arboretum. And then this one, it's not going to do anything, but this one, I think it's called peppermint or something, and the blossom's looking kind of significantly sad, but it's got blooms coming out all over it. Every leaf end has blooms on it. Looks like it has some kind of a little bug. I'll have to check that out. But that one's supposed to be white and red. I think it's called candy cane. But look at this one. This one was one of my favorites. We bought this one for my mother-in-law years and years and years ago. And I've moved it a couple of times, but it's full of blooms right now. And it is so beautiful. So beautiful. But anyway, I say anyway a lot. I do. That's all right. It's kind of when I'm trying to figure out how to finish a sentence and I'm not certain what I need to do next. So y'all have just to be patient with me. Washing jars. Yeah. All right, folks. I love you much. There comes Hubie. He always knows when I'm holding the phone up that I want him to wave. I think that he is trying to get the hay in the field, or in the barn, before we are expecting some rain tomorrow. So he needs to get that done. And that will take a whole lot of he usually doesn't worry too much about getting it in the barn when he gets it cut and it's fresh. But this has already been through the ringer. So he doesn't want it to get any more wet. But he'll get it done. He always does. All right, y'all. Love you much. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your evening. Bye-bye.